Fire Gaming project. So in this video, I'll be talking about the next banner that's coming, which is going to be the Ayaka Rerun Banner. Now I know this has already been posted officially by miHoYo or HoYoverse a few days ago on Twitter. Unfortunately, because I was busy, I did not have time to actually post and talk about it yet, and I know a lot of other streamers already talked about it. So anyway, this is my take on it. So let's get to it, shall we? So basically, long and the short, do we think that Ayaka is a must-pull character? Well, that really depends, because I was asked this by a few of my viewers as well, in my Discord and in some of the comments of other streams, etc. And my answer is that right now, currently, we are on the last few days of the Ayato banner and the Venti banner, and for some people, they chose not to go for Ayato, and for good reason, because we're getting Yelan in 2.7. But now, Ayaka and Ayato are very similar. However, I will say, Ayaka serves a more damage role than Ayato. Ayato is more of a support, in my opinion, but definitely he can be a DPS too, as I've already talked about in my review of him. I do like Ayato. I don't regret pulling him at all. Was Ayato a must pull? Not necessarily. He's definitely an extra optional character for sure. A lot of the characters are now at this stage. So Ayaka, though, she is one of the original characters from the beta before the game launched, and she is one of the most beloved characters that people were waiting for. And of course, we finally got her when we first came to Inazuma. In 2.0, 2.1. So I will say, I don't regret having her, and as you guys may know, when I do my Spiral Abyss runs, I do have her, especially in the later floors, like 11 and 12, for sure. She is very useful to me, and I will say, if I had to pick between Ayaka and Ayato, I would pick Ayaka, and that's pretty much my answer for other players and other viewers as well. Now, is she a must-pull character? Is she doing something that other characters can't do, like cryo-wise? Well, that's a long debate. Some people say that with Ganyu or other cryo DPS, sub-DPS characters, they can, they're just as good, if not better. That's up to you. So I will leave it there. Just say that I really enjoy using Ayaka. I like Ayaka and Ayato. I like them both. Of course, for free-to-play players, you may have to make a decision at some point, right? And so I would say that if you're missing like a Hydro DPS, then of course Ayato. But if you're missing a cryo DPS, then definitely Ayaka, I would say. And keeping in mind, again, we're getting another Hydro character coming in the next patch, 2.7. So there could be that reason as well, keeping in mind. Now, I want to leave it there and just say that like Ayaka is an awesome, amazing character. She's definitely very reliable, and she does a lot of things that other characters cannot do. For example, she has really quick strikes. She can obviously turn into like ice, and then this actually can damage and break the shields of those lectors in the abyss as well. So that's why there's that as well, because not many characters in the game have that ability. I mean, Mona has it too. Yeah, so that's a little added thing there. Her burst is strong and powerful if it hits. So there's that issue there, and her skill is okay. It's a minor AoE situation, but it doesn't last very long either, but it has a long cooldown. So, I mean, there's pros and cons, but overall, I really enjoy this character. I will do an updated review for her coming soon, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about her right now. So let's just leave it short and sweet there. So I would say that she's not a must-pull character, but she's definitely closer to being a must-pull than some of the other characters in the game, okay? If they're a skip, you'll know me, okay? If you've been following me, you'll know my videos. If they're a skip character, I will tell you straight out, or I'll just tell you that they're optional. So I would say Ayaka is more on the line of kind of not necessarily optional, but not necessarily must-pull, so she's between that. Whereas I would say like Ayato is definitely optional. I would say Yaimiko is optional. Even Ito is optional, I think, and same with Shenhe. Shenhe is actually a skip, in my opinion. So there you go. So, for example, there are those, right? Like, I think Ito is really awesome, so I would say he's definitely optional, but he's a nice to have, and Ayato is definitely optional and nice to have, and Ayaka is definitely the same boat. However, she is more of the line that if you had to pick between those three, I would pick her over Ayato and Ito, if we put it that way. Okay, so then that being said, let's move along. On this other banner, there will be Rosaria, who will be coming back as well. I previously did a review for her, and that should hold true still to this point, because I have not been using her or upgrading her or rebuilding her. So feel free to look for that in my playlist. She is a pretty good character. She's basically the female Kaya, which I mentioned before as well. And overall, she is a solid character. She's fast striking and she has an AoE burst. So you would build her, that way where you focus on her burst with Noblesse and Cryo. And I feel like she is a pretty standard character and she's pretty good to have. Now, some people have beaten the current Cycle of the Abyss using Rosaria, using Chongyun, Barbara even, right? So like it is definitely doable, especially I'm talking about floor 12-3, chamber 3, where I had a lot of trouble and I finally redid it after seeing how other people did it. So yeah, definitely there's potential there. So Rosaria is still a very good character. Moving along, Sayu, I've previously done a review for her. I think I even did an updated one for her a while back. I have not since used her anymore and have not rebuilt her either, so I will leave that there. It is there in my playlist if you're interested to check that out. Sayu is a baby Jean, and she's super adorable in the Iridori Festival in that anecdote chapter or phase that she had. And I think that she's a great character overall if you don't have Jean. Obviously, if you do have Jean, then you may not have a use for Sayu, to be very honest. I use my Jean heavily in the Abyss, as you guys may know, so therefore I don't use Sayu. But for certain free-to-play players or newer players to the game, they may be okay with Sayu, and I think she's a great placeholder in lieu of a Jean. If you ever get, a standard banner Jean or an off-limit, an off-banner 5-star character, like by losing the 50-50, let's say, and you get Jean, then that will be an amazing addition to your team. So I think that, Sayu does have that potential, but I will say her drawback is that she is a Claymore user and she is slower when she swings. Whereas, of course, Jean is faster paced with a single-handed sword. And Jean definitely has not just the healing, but Jean is like an all-rounded character. But Sayu is not bad. Lastly, we have Razor, who has been not on any banner for many, many patches now. He is not really that popular anymore. Maybe in the early game, when the game first launched, he was popular, but not so much anymore. I have not done a review for this character yet, because I don't use this character. But because this banner will be coming live in a few days, I will do a review of him. Now, I don't have him built up, and I will just do a review of him as is. I'm not going to build him up just to do a review, because I don't plan to use this character, and I don't want to spend the resources on him. But I will say, though, he is a decent character, especially in the early game, and definitely he has already been outclassed by other Electro characters, unfortunately. So like Beidou would be the most simplest comparison, because Beidou is a 4-star Electro Claymore user as well. And there are other Electro characters, not just Claymore users, that are probably better now that we've entered Inazuma, but in the early game, there weren't that many Electro characters, so that's why he had more popularity then. But now that we've entered Inazuma, the land of Electro, there are more Electro characters, and there's more selection, so therefore his popularity has waned and declined. He is an okay character. He's a physical damage and Electro damage dealer. You can build him those ways. I'll talk about it when I do a review of him. I'll have to see, but that will be coming soon, so stay tuned for that if you are interested. But overall now, if we go back to just talking about this banner in general, so Ayaka, Rosaria, Razor, and Sayu, is this a must-pull banner? It is if you wanted Ayaka and you've been waiting around for her, or you didn't get her the first time around. It is not if you don't feel that you need another cryo damage dealer. For example, you have a Ganyu, you have a Rosaria that's built up, you have a Chongyun that's been rebuilt up, because Chongyun surged in popularity again recently, now that people have decided to put the Akuomaru on him, like myself, or also have been using him in the current Spiral Abyss, etc. So, there are other characters out there as well, but Ayaka definitely is higher tier, in my opinion, than many of the other characters already, in terms of featured 5 stars in the recent patches. So I would say that if you have to rank it that way, then I would say she is definitely more of a must-pull than some of the other characters. Like, Shenhe is a definite skip, even if she reruns in the future, which is probably going to happen in a few patches from now. I think she's a skip, Shenhe. And then, so I know there are people that love her and can rebuild her that way and use her that way, but I feel like Ayaka just does it better in that case. Ito, we already talked about this, he's a great character, but yeah, he's coming back likely soon, and I think that he would be a good pull, but not a must pull. And Ayato, he's leaving soon. If you feel that, if you have to pick between the two siblings, I would recommend, once again, as Ayaka. For the 4-star characters, I'll be honest, I don't think that any of them are must pulls, unless you're trying to collect them and get their constellations, I don't think that any of them really are must-pulls. Sayu, you don't need her constellations. You could, but you don't need them. Razor, I don't think you should bother with him. And Rosaria, she can be good if you build her up properly, but remember, she's just a female version of Kaya who we do get free in the game. But Kaya is hard to get constellations for, so there's that. Okay, alright, I'm going to leave it there. Please stay tuned for my next video where I'll be talking about the weapon banner. And then following that, I'll have a few more videos to come later today, so stay tuned for those.